Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day and that you're looking after yourselves and, of course, one another. We are back with day 8 of our 31 perfect albums. And again, we're having fun, damn it. We're having a good day. So I am joined again by Mr. Bill Schuster. How's it going, Bill?
I'm doing wonderfully, Armando. Thank you.
He's back with us, ladies and gentlemen. We had a bit of an internet glitch there. We are also joined by Mr. Ken Cheshire. How are you doing, Ken?
Doing well. Thank you very much.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And we are also joined by the one and only Mr. Jim Bricker. How are you doing, Jim?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
He has his pumpkin seeds ready to go, so he's got a snack. We're good to go. So there we go. There we go. And he's not sharing with anybody, which is not nice. But what are you going to do? There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we are counting down our 31 perfect albums. All killer, no filler. We have each picked our perfect 31. So we are on day 8. So I will pass the virtual mic over to Mr. Bill Schuster to give us his pick for day 8.
Before I give my pick, I just want to just give a quick comment. Jim was hoping for a grand slam with Who's Next, and I'm going to have to spoil it. Now, let me define what I mean real quickly here. When I went through and cutting things, I cut some of my all-time favorite albums and left in lesser known or lesser favorite albums that I also consider perfect in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And Who's Next was one of those. That's probably a top 10 all-time album for me. And only using one album per artist, I cut out a lot of my favorite artists.
Mm-hmm.
This may shock Armando in particular, but my list contains no Joe Jackson. It contains no Rush, no Blue Oyster Cult, no Steely Dan, no Pink Floyd, no Elton John.
I'm sorry, there's an internet glitch. What are you saying?
What's left? Liberace? Like, come on, for God's sake.
That's why I wanted to clarify.
Taylor Swift.
My all-time
favorite.
Zamfir.
Hell no. No Taylor Swift.
But bring on Zamfir. Totally.
Yes.
Yanni. All right, that's it. Yanni. Right. John Tesh. All right. That's what we're going to listen to.
So yeah, it's not that I don't love these albums because these are Desert Island albums behind me here for the most part. Yeah. So it's not a slam on them at all. I put them up on the wall behind me just for that reason, to give them the proper attention they deserve. But for this exercise, I just wanted to talk about a few different things that I don't normally talk about. So that clarified, I'm going to 1973. Me and my buddy Harry are wearing the same hat. It's Harry Nilsson with a little touch of Schmilson in the night.
I knew it. I knew it from the hat. I knew it.
Yeah, this is, wow. Yeah, absolutely another perfect album. It's Harry is largely known as a songwriter, but of course his biggest hits were covers of other people's songs. Everybody's Talking and Without You. Go figure that one. Both great songs, but it's just odd that such a well-known songwriter had hits with covers. And this album is also a covers album. It's a masterful covers album. It has well-known classic arranger Gordon Jenkins, who's worked with vocal greats like Sinatra. He's the arranger on this album, and he does just as well as he does ever in his career here. In fact, he even said that Harry had the best interpretation of these songs. That's pretty high praise coming from somebody like Gordon Jenkins. And this was before Harry blew out his voice. This album was suggested to my dad back in the 70s, and it's kind of been a big part of our family ever since. There's songs on here like Lullaby and Ragtime I used to sing my kids to sleep with when they're younger. So there's a lot of personal connections to these songs. And though I've learned a lot more over the decades about the Great American Songbook, this was really my introduction to it. So these are the songs that imprinted on my brain, or these versions. So when I hear somebody else say It Had to Be You, using the version that had a missing verse, or yeah, had a verse not there. Harry sings the missing verse. It's not in most versions. It's I'm 5'10", a man among men.
Oh,
You're
Lord. Here we
7'2".
go.
When you stand up, your hands touch the floor. Yeah, it had to be me. Unlucky me. Yeah, it's a comical verse in there that I think it adds something to the song. It adds a different sort of character, and that's just the kind of thing that this weirdo was into, which is one of the things
Yeah.
that made him such a great, unique artist. And he didn't alter who he was to do these songs or to work with Gordon. He was all Harry, all the way in. There is a version that has 6 extra songs from the recording sessions, and those are cool. That was like a nice treasure to find many years later. But really, it's the original 12-track album that I go to. I rarely listen to the others because I view this as a perfect album. Obviously, from track 1 to track 12 in the order I'm used to. Probably the most famous song on here is the closer, As Time Goes By. When I finally got around to watching Casablanca in my younger days, well, this might be a cinematic sacrilege, but I was horrified because that didn't sound like Harry's version.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, he really left a mark on me with these. Now I've come to appreciate a lot of other versions of all these different songs here, but
I can understand what you're
this one's
saying. Though.
special. Yeah, it's possibly the greatest covers album of all time for me. And it's supremely relaxing. Yeah, it's great to just kick back, close your eyes, listen to Harry's wonderful voice, the great songs from the Great American Songbook, and Gordon Jenkins' wonderful arrangements. Yeah. If you only know Harry from the hits, check it out.
That's it.
It's worth your time.
It's a
Awesome.
good
And
choice.
make sure to wear your hat.
Bill, I just want to ask you a question. Did you ever watch that documentary, Who is Harry Nilsson?
Yes, I did.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It taught me a lot of things I did not know about Harry. Yeah.
Amazing. And guys out there watching, and I know you are watching, you can check that out on YouTube in full. No commercials. So, no ads, I should say. So, okay. Over to Ken for your choice for day 8.
June 2nd, 1978, we're going to bounce back over into New Jersey with Darkness on the Edge of Town. Choosing this because here again, the pairing of that and Born to Run is to me is perfect. Produced by John Landau, a master in the studio. This album came out of a lot of turmoil because after Born to Run, Springsteen got into a big court case with his manager, Mike Appel, for the ownership of his own work.
Mm-hmm.
Just seems bizarre to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if it wasn't for that, this album would have come out a lot sooner. It's just you can feel the influence of that lawsuit, if nothing else, not just in the songwriting, but just in the edge that this album has, sound wise. Just absolutely amazing. It opens up just hitting the ground running with Badlands, and the vitriol of Adam Ray's Decane. To use Jim's word, it's incendiary. Just that guitar part is amazing. One of the songs upon first couple listens that really blew me away was Candy's Room. It's like, just the form of the song. It's not a long song, and it's just very, very different. But then he still has on this album that element of growing up in New Jersey. because next is Racing in the Street.
Hmm.
You know, another biographical, with Promised Land coming after that. Factory is also very indicative of the time
Yeah.
growing up in New Jersey. Streets of Fire, Prove It All Night, and then to close it out, Darkness on the Edge of Town, the song itself,
Mhm.
one of the first songs that I ever learned to play on piano. It's one of those songs that just sucks me in.
Mhm.
Another wonderful album that surprised, there's only 3 singles off of it: Prove It All Night, Badlands, and The Promised Land.
Yeah.
Again, there's a wonderful expanded box set of this album that has um, alternate takes of these songs, early takes, demos, and a wonderful documentary included in that.
And concert footage. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, so this is the pairing that I make with Born to Run, that in my mind is the perfect double album from Springsteen, regardless of The River, which I love too, that came after.
Mhm.
So yeah,
It's a good choice.
thank you.
It's a really good choice. Yeah. All right, the man of the hour, Jim.
Me. Why am I the man of the hour?
The show was your idea.
Well, I guess so. All my fault. All blame can come on me.
There you go.
Uh,
Blame Jim, guys. That's all I am.
Okay. Day 8. Sticking in 1972. It's an album that's only got 3 tracks on it. Can you guys guess what it is? Ken looks like he's there.
I'm still
I
lost
think
in
so,
the
yeah.
woods.
Yes,
Go
I
ahead.
can guess what it is.
Bills. All right. Have you got it? Have you got it, Armando?
No, I'm lost. Go ahead.
What if I told you the cover was extremely green?
Are you close to getting it?
I don't know. Are you at the edge of getting it?
Would you just say the name of the album for God's sake?
We're getting punchy. It's close to the edge by yes.
That's right.
1972. 3 tracks. To me, this is perhaps the apogee of prog. Look up apogee if you don't know what that is.
Big words. Go on.
Big words. To me, this is Yes at their most thunderous as well as their most delicate. If you take, and You and I, just side 1 is Close to the Edge, which is its own kind of mind-blowing epic. And side 2 just has the 2 cuts, And You and I and Siberian Khatru. This really demands attentive listening. There are, for 2 reasons. One, things like Close to the Edge are very complex, and it's very, arresting. It's like in the first 3 minutes, you're just like on a musical roller coaster. You're just being whipped around by these changes that are happening and these sudden stops. But it's also demanding listening because the quality is so high. It's just so creative, and the songwriting is, it's quite unlike other music that's out there. I mean, it's in the world prog, there's albums that get thrown around all the time as the usual suspects or what are the greatest in that genre. And Close to the Edge is usually, pointed out as one of those when people are throwing out album names.
Yeah.
This is the last album with Bill Bruford on the drums. His playing in this is just absolutely phenomenal. He comes from a jazz background, and just the touch that he gives to these performances really elevates it. maybe I'm gonna start to get a bunch of crap for this, but to me, you know, Alan White, as good as he is, just has a heavier hand, and it really, I really miss the kind of the delicacy that Bruford brings to it, just because of his training and the way he, you know, comes about the drums. Still very powerful. I mean, just listening to some of those runs on Close to the Edge, it's like, okay, this guy can really, really play. So it's not delicate as in he's a very twee performer. It's just, you know, just his touch with the sticks and whatnot. Anyway, enough drumming talk. Close to the Edge. The more I listen to it, the more I love it. And really, if people want an intro to prog rock, this is probably a darn good place to start, to really try to get your head around when people say prog, what do they mean? Close to the Edge, I think, is a pretty fair exhibit A that you can present to say, if you want to know what the genre is all about,
Yeah.
sit down here for 38 minutes and, you know, we'll talk after you pick up your brain from the floor.
It's a good choice.
Great.
And it's
Yeah, actually, my intro to this album was from their 3-disc Yes Songs,
Oh yeah.
and, which was the performance on that is just absolutely unbelievable. And it's the first Yes album I ever bought, and that just started me down that rabbit hole. And so, and the fact of the matter is, I think a lot of times the title track of Close to the Edge, I feel is so highly regarded that the other two tracks kind of live in the shadow. But
Yeah.
you know, but they are just as good in my opinion. Yeah, it's a perfect album.
Good choice.
Good choice.
It's a really good choice. My my choice for number 8, ladies and gentlemen, of 31 perfect albums, we are going to 1976 with ELO and a New World Record. Thank you, Jim approves. There we go. Good to know. Released October 15th, 1976, through United Artists Records. 8 tracks. I mean, this was when ELO were on a hot, white hot streak, I should say. They had released Face the Music from 75, and their popularity just kept building and building and building. To say that Jeff Lynne was a Beatles fan, raised a Beatles fan, is an understatement. Okay. Every song starts off with Tightrope, with the I call it spacey intro, with like the spaceship landing kind of a thing, that gives it that kind of a feel with Tightrope, and then it goes into the beautiful melodic, poetic, symphonic Telephone Line, which was a single. And literally when I hear him singing those lines and the verses going into the chorus, you could almost feel him crying into the phone, because he's just so, he wants to hold on to his wife or his girlfriend at the time, and he just doesn't want to let go, right? And he's just like, thinking about it, I almost start tearing up because it's that emotional. Then it goes into Rock Aria, which is that operatic intro, with the and it starts again. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. Mission, a New World Record, that ends off side 1 again. Confection Perfection, as I call it. So Fine starts off side 2. Living Thing, beautiful symphonic piece of pop there. Above the Clouds is also another beautiful track, and Do Ya, it's just again, Confection Perfection, and it ends off with Shangri-La. then it ends with the intro. The outro is the intro to Tightrope. So it ties it all together. It has a bit of a theme going through it, very loosely, but it's a top to bottom. I mean, there are albums that, for me, that don't have to have a concept behind them, just a group of songs that work together so well, that are strung together or sequenced together, that work very well and complement one another. And this is one of those albums for me. And I remember getting a copy from a friend in Toronto, that when I moved here, I brought all my vinyl with me, and his vinyl skipped, right? I never really listened to the entire album. So I went out to a store called Sound Connection here in Edmonton that's no longer in business, found a copy of this on vinyl and just bought it again and kept it in pristine condition. So, and I also have it on CD. So there you go. There you go. So that's my number 8.
I was that was on my short list, but so was El Dorado, and I couldn't pick between the two, so I chose neither.
Mm,
Rather than hurt one of my children, I
Understandable, yeah.
abandoned them both.
there you go.
I don't know, man. I can still pick my favorite kids. I mean, in terms of that, I could still do it. Call me heartless, but there you go. So, anyways, there you have it, guys. Episode 8 of our 31 perfect albums. Please again leave your comments down below. For whatever albums you think are perfection, all killer, no filler. And again, no right or wrong. No right or wrong answers, just opinion. And that's all. We're here to have fun. We are not experts in
Right.
music, be aside from Ken, in terms of his experience with music. But we are not experts. We are just having a good time here, just giving you our 31 perfect albums. And we want everyone who is watching to join in and have a good time with us.
Right.
Right? That's all there is. So for Bill, Jim, and Ken, I'm Armando. Wishing you all a very happy day and that you're looking after yourselves and one another. And we'll see you soon for episode 9 of 31 Perfect Albums. Bye for now.